The ship's medical team worked efficiently. Nutrient treatments, muscle regeneration protocols, psychological evaluation. Each step was performed with a combination of medical precision and genuine human care. David visited her during her recovery. Their conversations were initially technical, scientific. She spoke about her research, her discoveries. He listened, recognizing the passion of a true scientist who had been silenced for challenging existing systems. Something unexpected began to happen. Beyond the medical treatment, beyond the rescue, a connection was forming. Not romantic, not yet, but a profound understanding. Two individuals from entirely different worlds, finding common ground in curiosity and resilience. "Why did you rescue me?" Hannah asked him one evening, her strength returning. David's response was simple: because every life has value, especially those forgotten by their own systems. In that moment, Hannah realized her journey was about to change dramatically. The cold, calculated abandonment by the Centauri collective had led her to something unexpected: humanity, compassion, hope. The Horizons Cultural Integration Room became Hannah's classroom of humanity. David understood that healing wasn't just physical, it was about understanding, connection, and rebuilding trust. Her first weeks were challenging. Hannah watched human interactions with scientific precision. The crew's casual conversations, their easy laughter, their willingness to challenge each other without punishment. These were alien concepts to her. During mealtimes, she observed carefully. Crew members from different backgrounds shared food, stories, and personal experiences. No one seemed afraid of being punished for speaking their mind. This was radically different from her Centauri culture, where silence was survival. David introduced her to human social structures gradually. He explained democracy, individual rights, and the concept of personal freedom. Each lesson was like unveiling a complex puzzle that Hannah had never imagined could exist. In our society, Hannah explained one evening, disagreement meant elimination. Here it seems to create dialogue. The ship's library became her sanctuary. She consumed information about human history, particularly moments of social transformation. The civil rights movements, scientific revolutions, cultural shifts. Each story fascinated her. Lisa Chen, the communication officer, became an unexpected friend. She taught Hannah about human emotional complexity, how humans could simultaneously hold multiple feelings, how vulnerability was considered strength, not weakness. Physical training was another revelation. The ship's exercise areas weren't just about maintaining fitness, but about personal growth and community. Crew members supported each other, celebrated individual achievements, and understood collective success. David noticed Hannah was changing. Her rigid scientific posture gradually softened. She began asking personal questions. She started understanding humor, recognizing subtle emotional cues that her previous society had trained her to ignore. One particular evening changed everything. During a casual dinner, a junior engineer shared a personal story about overcoming professional challenges. The entire table listened, offered support, celebrated his journey. No one judged, no one criticized. "This would be impossible in my world," Hannah whispered to David. Her scientific mind began analyzing human social structures like a complex research project. She realized humans weren't just technologically advanced, they were emotionally intelligent in ways her civilization could never comprehend. The ship's psychologist, Dr. Rodriguez, helped her navigate emotional landscapes. He explained that human growth wasn't about perfection, but about continuous learning and adaptation. Failure is not punishment, he told her. It's an opportunity to understand and improve. These words struck her deeply. In her previous life, failure meant elimination. Here, failure was a stepping stone. Cultural exchange became mutual. While humans taught her about emotional intelligence, she shared advanced scientific knowledge. Her quantum communication research fascinated the ship's technical teams. David became more than a rescuer. He became a mentor, a guide through the complex landscape of human interaction. His patience was deliberate, his explanations clear and kind. Hana started understanding love, not as a transactional relationship, but as a complex, supportive connection. She saw how crew members cared for each other, how they protected individual differences while maintaining collective harmony. Her transformation wasn't just intellectual. Her body language changed. She smiled more. Her movements became fluid. The rigid Centauri researcher was slowly becoming someone new, someone who understood the power of individual expression. The ship felt like a living organism to her. Each crew member contributed uniquely. No one was disposable. Everyone mattered. During her third month on the horizon, Hana realized something profound. Her rescue wasn't just a physical event. It was a complete reconstruction of her understanding of existence. Humanity wasn't perfect, but it offered something her civilization never did: the chance to be authentically oneself. As stars passed outside the ship's massive windows, Hana understood her real journey had just begun. She was no longer just a survivor. She was becoming something entirely new. The first warning came quietly, a distant sensor ping that most would have missed, but not on the horizon. Captain David Miller understood that silence could be the most dangerous sound in space. Hana recognized the signature immediately. Centauri military tracking systems. Her body went rigid, her scientific mind calculating probabilities faster than the ship's computers. "They're coming," she said simply. The horizon's bridge transformed. Casual conversations stopped. Crew members moved with practiced efficiency. David watched the approaching threat, his hands steady on the navigation controls. Centauri ships were technological marvels, sleek metallic structures that looked more like living organisms than machines. They moved with a precision that suggested intelligence beyond simple programming. 3 massive vessels approached, their weapon systems charging. Lisa Chen's fingers flew across communication panels. "They're broadcasting a single message," she reported, demanding surrender of the unauthorized alien asset, meaning Hana. Hana stepped forward. Her previous fear was gone, replaced by a calm, analytical determination. "They want to eliminate me to protect their political secrets," she explained. David's response was immediate. "Not on my watch." The first attack came, without warning. Plasma weapons that could slice through standard ship defenses like paper. But the Horizon wasn't a standard ship. Designed for deep space exploration, it carried unexpected defensive capabilities. Hana became their secret weapon. She understood Centauri military protocols better than anyone. She guided the human crew, explaining attack patterns, potential weaknesses, communication frequencies. "Their third ship will always approach from the gravitational shadow," she explained. "It's a blind spot in their strategic thinking." The battle became a dance of technology and strategy, human creativity versus Centauri precision. Each maneuver was calculated, each response a complex mathematical equation of survival. David trusted Hana completely. Where traditional military training would suggest one approach, he listened to her insights. Her scientific mind saw patterns humans might miss. Weapon systems engaged. The horizon moved with surprising agility. Energy shields absorbed initial attacks. Counterstrikes were precise, targeting specific system vulnerabilities Hana identified. The first Centauri ship exploded in a brilliant display of technological failure. Its own weapon systems overloaded, a weakness Hana had predicted. Crew members cheered, but David remained focused. One battle didn't mean victory. The second ship approached, more cautiously. Its weapons were more sophisticated, its approach more complex, but human unpredictability became their greatest strength. Hana surprised everyone. She wasn't just providing information, she was actively participating in defense strategies. Her quantum communication knowledge allowed her to disrupt Centauri tracking systems. "They rely on predictive algorithms," she explained. "If we introduce random variables, their entire attack model collapses." The second ship began to show signs of systematic failure. Communication systems failed. Navigation became erratic. It was warfare through intelligence, not just firepower. David watched Hana. She wasn't the scared researcher they had rescued months ago. She was a warrior, a scientist, someone who had found her true self in the most unexpected place. The final Centauri ship retreated, not out of fear but strategic reassessment. They had underestimated humanity's adaptive capabilities. As silence returned to the ship's bridge, Hana looked different, stronger, more confident. "They'll be back," she told David. His response was simple. "We'll be ready." The crew looked at Hana, no longer an alien rescued from certain death, but a crucial member of their team, someone who had proven that survival wasn't about origin, but adaptation. Outside the ship's windows, stars continued their silent journey, witness to a battle that would change everything. The horizon had done more than survive. It had made a statement about humanity, about individual worth, about the power of understanding. The diplomatic chamber felt different. Humans and representatives from multiple alien civilizations listened carefully as Hana spoke. Her story was no longer just personal. It had become a testament to individual resilience. Earth's Interstellar Council had transformed her unexpected rescue into a diplomatic opportunity. Hana became more than a survivor. She became a bridge between civilizations. Her research about communication network vulnerabilities, once considered dangerous by the Centauri Collective, now held immense strategic value. Scientific institutions across multiple planetary systems wanted her insights. David watched from a distance, pride evident in his calm expression. The woman who had been abandoned was now reshaping interstellar understanding. The Centauri representatives sat uncomfortably. Their attempt to eliminate Hana had backfired spectacularly. Instead of silencing her, they had created a powerful advocate for individual rights. During her presentations, Hana explained complex systems with remarkable clarity. She didn't seek revenge, she sought understanding. Her approach was scientific, compassionate, deliberate. Systems are not more important than individuals, she would explain. Progress happens when we value human and alien potential. Her relationship with David had evolved beyond rescue. They understood each other deeply, not romantically, but as profound intellectual companions, two minds committed to expanding universal knowledge. The Earth Space Exploration Command offered her a unique position, lead researcher for cross-species communication and diplomatic strategy, a role that perfectly matched her skills and experiences. Her first major project involved creating communication protocols that respected individual cultural differences. Traditional diplomatic approaches had always been rigid. Hana introduced flexibility, understanding, nuance. Planetary governments began requesting her consultation. Her story had spread. The researcher who survived total abandonment was now a symbol of hope. David continued leading exploration missions, but now Hana was an integral part of his team. Her quantum communication research revolutionized deep space exploration capabilities. Their professional relationship became legendary within scientific circles. A human and a rescued alien working together to expand universal understanding. The horizon became more than a ship. It represented possibility. A place where differences were celebrated, where individual potential could transform entire systems. Hana's family, who had originally disowned her, slowly reached out. Her success had shifted their perspective. The daughter they had considered a liability was now a global and interstellar hero. During one particular conference, a young scientist asked her about surviving total abandonment. "Survival is not about fighting," Hana responded. "It's about understanding, about seeing potential where others see limitations." Her words carried weight, not just as a personal philosophy, but as a universal truth. The scientific community recognized her not as an alien researcher, but as a pioneering thinker. Her papers were published in prestigious journals. Her theories challenged existing understanding. David watched these developments with quiet satisfaction. The rescue mission that seemed random years ago had transformed multiple systems of understanding. Hana's journey represented something profound. the power of compassion, the strength of individual resilience, the possibility of transformation. She no longer identified herself by her original civilization. She was something new, a citizen of the universe, someone who understood that boundaries were mostly artificial constructs. Her laboratory became a place of innovation. Young researchers from multiple planets sought her mentorship. She taught them not just scientific methodology, but the importance of ethical research. The Centauri Collective, once her oppressor, now sought her guidance. Their rigid systems had begun to show cracks. Hana's approach offered a path to more flexible, compassionate governance. During quiet moments, she would reflect on her journey, from a researcher facing elimination to a global diplomatic strategist. The transformation seemed impossible, yet here she was. David would often join her during these reflective moments. No words were necessary. Their understanding transcended language. As stars continued their eternal dance outside research facility windows, Hana represented something powerful. Hope, resilience, the incredible potential of understanding. Her story was far from over. In many ways, it was just beginning. The cold metal floor pressed against Hana's tired body. She had been drifting in the research station for weeks, her hope slowly fading like the distant starlight outside the small observation window. The Centauri Collective, her once proud civilization, had discarded her like a broken machine. 3 months ago, Hana had been a respected researcher, working on advanced quantum communication systems. Her work was brilliant, but her ideas were dangerous. She had discovered a critical flaw in the government's communication network, a backdoor that allowed systematic oppression of minority groups within their society. When she presented her findings to the senior council, they didn't appreciate her discovery. Instead of addressing the systemic issues, they saw her as a threat. Her research was classified, her credentials revoked, and her reputation destroyed within hours. The night of her dismissal was brutal. Security officers stormed her research facility, confiscated her work, and stripped her of everything she had worked for. Her colleagues, people she had trusted for years, watched silently as she was dragged away. No one spoke. No one defended her. Her family disowned her. Her partner left without a second glance. The Centauri Collective was a society that valued conformity over truth, and Hana had broken their most fundamental rule: never challenge the system. They didn't execute her. Something far worse happened. They abandoned her on this remote research station, knowing that survival was almost impossible. No communication systems, limited oxygen, minimal food reserves. It was a slow, calculated death sentence. Hana had always been resourceful. She began rationing her supplies, analyzing her environment, looking for any potential escape. The station was old, with worn-out systems and flickering emergency lights. Every day was a battle against the inevitable. Her daily routine became a meditation of survival. She would check oxygen levels, repair small electrical systems, and maintain what little equipment remained functional. During quiet moments, she would stare into the vast darkness of space, wondering how her life had transformed so dramatically. The station's computer system was partially damaged but still operational. Hana spent hours trying to send distress signals, knowing the chances of rescue were almost non-existent. Her fingers would dance across the damaged control panels, hoping for a miracle. She remembered her last conversation with her research mentor. "Truth is a dangerous weapon," he had told her. "In our society, conformity is safety and questioning is a death sentence." Those words echoed in her mind as she performed her daily survival tasks. Food was becoming a critical issue. The station's emergency supplies were designed for short-term missions, not prolonged isolation. She calculated she had approximately 3 more weeks of nutrients before complete depletion. Each meal became a carefully measured ritual. Loneliness was her constant companion. The silence of space was deafening, interrupted only by the occasional, mechanical hum of the station's failing systems. Hana would talk to herself, maintaining her sanity through constant dialogue and mental exercises. Her scientific training became her greatest asset. She understood systems, understood survival. Where others might have surrendered, she adapted. She modified communication circuits, created makeshift oxygen recycling mechanisms, and maintained hope when hope seemed impossible. As days turned into weeks, Hana's determination grew stronger. She was not just surviving, she was proving a point. The Centauri Collective might have wanted her to disappear, but she refused to be erased. Little did she know, somewhere in the vast darkness of space, a human exploration vessel was approaching. Its sensors were about to detect her faint distress signal. Her story was about to change dramatically. The station's emergency lights flickered. Oxygen levels dropped another percentage point. Hana closed her eyes, took a deep breath, and continued her daily routine. Survival was not just about physical endurance but mental strength. In the infinite darkness of space, a lone figure continued her silent rebellion against a system that had abandoned her. Her story was far from over. The USS Horizon glided through the quiet expanse of space, its sleek metal frame cutting through the darkness like a silver arrow. Captain David Miller stood on the bridge, his eyes scanning the holographic display of star charts and celestial data. Something unusual had caught his attention, a faint, almost imperceptible signal from a sector most navigators would have ignored. "Run the scan again," David instructed his communications officer, a young woman named Lisa Chen. Her fingers moved quickly across the control panel, rechecking the data. "Confirmed, Captain," she responded. "Weak signal. Looks like it's coming from an old research station in the Epsilon Quadrant." Most captains would have dismissed such a signal. But David Miller was different. His reputation in the Earth Space Exploration Command was built on compassion as much as scientific curiosity. Where others saw a potential waste of resources, he saw a possible life waiting to be saved. "Plot an intercept course," he commanded. The Horizon moved with precision, its advanced engines humming softly. As they approached the coordinates, the station became visible, a small damaged structure floating almost lifelessly against the backdrop of distant stars. Initial scans revealed minimal life support systems. Most of the station's critical infrastructure was failing. Anyone inside would have been fighting a losing battle against time, oxygen depletion, and total system collapse. David watched the preliminary data with growing concern. "Prepare rescue protocols," he told his medical team. "We might have a survivor." They boarding team prepared with professional efficiency, spacesuits checked, emergency medical kits prepared, rescue equipment loaded. They had seen challenging scenarios before, but something about this mission felt different. When they entered the station, the first thing they noticed was the silence. A heavy, oppressive quiet that spoke of abandonment and isolation. Emergency. Lights cast a weak, intermittent glow across damaged corridors. And then they found her. Hana was curled near a damaged communication console, her body thin, but her eyes sharp with intelligence. She looked more like a scientific survivor than a victim. When the rescue team approached, she didn't show fear. Instead, she analyzed them with a clinical, almost detached curiosity. "You're not Centauri," she said simply, her voice slightly raspy from limited use. David, who had joined the boarding team, stepped forward. His approach was careful, understanding. Years of interstellar diplomatic missions had taught him that first contact could be delicate. "We're human," he responded. "From Earth. Are you injured?" Hana's laugh was short and bitter. "Injured? No. Abandoned? Absolutely." The medical team began their initial assessment. Her physical condition was surprisingly stable. Malnutrition, yes. Muscle atrophy, certainly. But her core systems were functional. Her mind, David noted, seemed more impressive than her physical state. As they prepared to transport her to the Horizon's medical bay, Hana shared minimal details about her background. Enough to intrigue, not enough to fully explain her situation. David recognized a survivor's protective instinct,